So as you guys know, I've been working on the layout off and on a lot with Richard and Scott, and the last official meeting they had is actually when I was down at the HaasTec event. So while I was gone, Scott and Richard worked on installing the switch there, which has been laid in place and more work needs to be done on it. But today's another unofficial work day because we are racing to get things done before Pleasanton. So I'm gonna work on trying to finish up the switch, install one of these little ground throw machines, wire the switch in, and I'm not even gonna worry about scenery. Scenery is probably gonna be done live, if you will, over at the show itself. So enough chit chat, time to get busy. Okay, so sorry about 10 different camera equipment things in the shot. I'm trying to do things as efficiently as we can time-wise here. But what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut out that little opening right there so we can drop in this little piece of homosote-like material. I don't think this is the right one, but the idea is we can then put a little, what's called a ground throw that allows us to throw the switch by hand, set it on there, and then we'll worry about sculpting all of the scenery crap around it later. Nobody said this had to be pretty at this point. Okay, so now it's time to work on the switch. Now, for the sake of electrical conductivity here, we are going to actually solder some jumper wires to the underside of the switch. And for all you non-trained people, this area in here needs to be electrically isolated. So we're going to solder a third wire onto that, so that way this gets power, trains don't stall on it, and it doesn't short the system out. So let's get soldering. And there you have it. Hopefully the wires are installed the right way around, and if they're not, well, Richard will fix it.
So here we have a 1, 2, 4-way in-the-air splices, a capped lead with no termination, another cut lead with no termination. These mid-air splices are always questionable, so my philosophy is wire everything immediately to a terminal strip, which I will mount right here. Then you know what you've got. You've got a hard connection, and then if you need to make multiple connections off that terminal strip, you have some way of tracking it.
Richard's trying to prevent all of the wiring issues and electrical problems that we've been having. Yeah, don't do what you just saw there, and I'm dead serious, or you will be chasing your tail for the rest of your life.
The problem is there's no way to segment the track and then analyze where your wiring problems are. If you have these mid-air meets that are going all different directions, how can you ever isolate a problem? The way to isolate a problem is you wire it into a terminal strip, then you unhook the leads one at a time and see if the problem goes away. If you've unhooked one that causes the problem to go away, you've probably found the section of track that has the problem.
Richard knows what he's talking about. just like that, we got the switch installed. So now the next step is going to be working on installing up this little plate in here at the proper height and the proper distance from the switch, so that way we can install the little ground throw and get all that stuff done. But technically at this point the switch is installed, so I'm not sure if we're going to have time on this session, probably not. But what I will do before the show is I will come along and ballast all this track in, but at the show I'm actually going to probably be doing some of the scenery, or I'm just going to leave this as is a work in progress. I haven't figured it out yet. It's time dependent on everything else. Scenery is secondary to actually getting things running. So I'm going to jump back on this, but switch is installed, so I'm a very happy camper. Well, as of now, the track work is done. So there's still more work that needs to be done on this on another day. Off camera, I mocked up this piece of blue foam in here, which is being glued in place for just a basic scenery form. I'm probably going to sculpt it ahead of time, but over at the Pleasanton show, I'm probably going to be doing the final scenic work on this live at the show, potentially. We'll see how time works out with that. The track still needs to be ballasted, and I still need to work on installing the ground throw, but I did make an opening in the foam right in this area to hold it. So next time we meet up, what I'm probably going to do is make up a little wooden retaining wall that holds that in place. So sorry if this video was a bit spotty and mostly time-lapsed. The main reason why is because, well, we need to get stuff done, and I really didn't feel like busting out the camera for every single thing I did, because nothing super major happened. But when we get back to the scenery and stuff, I think you guys will find that more interesting, as let's face it, cutting a piece of blue foam and soldering track in is not exactly great video material, if you know what I mean. So see you guys here next time, and hopefully we'll have some more interesting stuff.